All right. Well, this session is going to be on Google Drive, and I think it's appropriate with all the Chromebooks we're getting out there, especially at Norwich and here at Kingman High School. And we're also testing them at the lower elementary in fourth and fifth grade. They're at Norwich too, um, and possibly looking at expanding that for anybody at Kingman that's interested in testing out some Chromebooks with your Lead 21. Um, but I guess really to start with, by default, everybody that has a MacBook, you're using Google Drive whether you know it or not. We've installed Google Drive and we've defaulted your Microsoft Office to save to Google Drive. And what that does is that basically gives you an offsite copy, an offsite backup of all the files that you create. And that enables us to go away from a server-based system to more of a web-based system, um, allowing you to access your files anywhere as long as you have access to the internet. And you can also access those offline. And so that, I guess, you're using it in more of an old technology way with Microsoft Office. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that, but I really want to focus in on how the students are going to be utilizing that. They're going to be utilizing it via the web. When they create documents and spreadsheets and presentations, that will all be through a web browser versus many of you who are using Microsoft Office and Excel. To access Google Drive, probably the easiest way is when you're in your Gmail, and up at the top you'll see a Drive link. And if you click Drive, that will open up a new tab, which I've already got it open. Let me close it out here. But you'll see here Google Drive. And this is where you'll notice you'll probably see folders, you'll probably see Word documents and Excel documents that you've created with Microsoft Office should be located here. But you can organize. You see here on the left, I have the ability to create a document. So if I click create, you're going to see the option to create a folder, which will allow me to organize my documents. I can create a document, a presentation, a spreadsheet. I can create a form that can be a survey. It can be a test for teachers if they want to create a multiple choice test, a short answer test. They can do that. There's also the ability to create a drawing. If you want to create a drawing, it's similar to Microsoft Paint. So there's a wide variety of apps that you can use. I'm really going to focus on document, presentation, and spreadsheet in this session here. But I would encourage you to feel free. It really would be a good idea for you to experiment with some of these and become familiar with them, because there's a good chance this is going to be where we are heading with all of our students in the near future. You can also see here on the left side, I have my drive. I can also look at documents that are shared with me. So if someone shares a document with me, I can see that, see all these files, and I have a lot of them. If I have any files that I've prioritized, I can click a star next to the file, and it will basically creates a short list of files I use often. And then this is another one that's really handy where it says recent. I can look at recently modified documents. So anything that, if it's a file that I've modified, recently that I'm in often, it'll be up towards the top if I click on recent. So for me, that's a pretty handy feature. If it's not something that I've recently used, I will go to my drive, and then I can click on my folders and navigate through there. And you can see I've used this for many years, and so I've got a lot of folders and a lot of organization here. Um, Another nice feature that is actually a very powerful feature with Google Drive is the ability to search. So if I can't remember exactly where I saved a file or what the name of it was, I can go in here and I can type in a keyword that I know is on that document, and it will give me a list of those documents. So let me see, just type Moodle, and it will give me a quick rundown of everything that has Moodle in it. Of course, it's going to be quite a few. Um, but this is a very powerful way to search for documents. I use this feature an awful lot. Generally, I can remember a word that's fairly unique to the document that I'm searching for, so I don't get such a wide array of results. But that's one of the nice features about Google Drive is the ability to search. And it will search through your Google documents that you create. It'll search through Word documents, Excel documents, PDFs. It will search through all those documents that are saved on Google Drive. So it's searching everything. It's a very powerful search ability. You know, I made a list. Is everybody seeing my screen fairly well?
Yep.
Okay. Good. You're seeing
We're
a document here. All right. I'm looking here at my notes when I'm going to go over here. We have about 35, 40 minutes left. So I think the first thing, and actually here you can see I have a document open. This is just a basic document. This is my technology session schedule. And you can see here it's got some of the things that you'll see are similar to Microsoft Word. It obviously doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Word has, but you do have the ability to print. You have the ability to undo changes to a document. You can modify text. There are some general settings for text that you can use. It's got a variety of fonts, and this is a lot better. I remember when they first released Google Drive, I think there were maybe 4 or 5 fonts. So they've expanded that quite a bit. You also have the ability to use bullets. You have bulleted lists, numbers, numbered lists. You can increase, decrease your indent. So, I think, I guess there's a notion, and it's true, Google Docs does not have as many features as Microsoft Word, but in my opinion, it's good enough for me to create all the documents that I need, and the features that I have with Google Drive far outweigh the features that it lacks that Word might have in the form of document editing. You can also insert tables. I have a number of documents where I use tables, and that's proved to be very handy. You can insert images. You can insert, for those of you that have math classes, you can insert equations. You can insert hyperlinks, headers and footers. I mean, it really has a lot of different features. So I would just, if you have a chance, go ahead and take a minute and just look around there for a bit. And if you have any questions, just make sure and holler at me. I can answer them. Any questions, or do you want me to go ahead and move on?
The more, where's more?
Way right. Comments. Blue button share.
Oh. I think that's because he's added enough other stuff there.
No, I think what they're asking is, why do I have a more button?
Right. That's better.
Yeah. If you look, see, I have because I'm hooked up to a projector, I have a smaller screen resolution. And so all my buttons are scrunched up. I would imagine that you probably can see all those buttons, such as the bulleted option and the numbered list option, just because your screen resolution is greater than mine. That's probably all it is. Now, one of the most powerful features of Google Drive and Google Docs, in my opinion, is the ability to share documents. With Microsoft Word, if you were going to share a document with somebody, you had to save that document, then you had to open up your email, you had to attach that file, send it off to someone, and then they would make changes. They would have to save it, attach it to an email, and send it back to you. And that is not a very efficient use as far as sharing and editing documents. With Google Drive, there's a share button up here on the right side, and I can go up here to share, and I've already shared this document with the staff. But if I wanted to share this with a specific person, I could type in their email address. I'm going to type in Barb's address here. And I can give Barb the ability to edit that document, view it, or she can view it and add comments to it. So if I didn't trust Barb with this document, but I wanted to get feedback from her, I could give her the ability to comment on this document. Now, if I wanted to collaborate with this document and give her the ability to edit it, I would just give her editing rights. And so I add her, and then I have this notify her via email, share and save, and then it will send her an email that she now has access to this document, and she can go in and edit and make changes to that document. Now that's a much better environment. She's already opened it, and you can see if she has a cursor, go ahead and type something there at the top. We can be in here editing this document at the same time. And so if this was a school policy or a technology policy that I wanted the tech committee to go over, I could share this document with the tech committee, and we could go in and work on this. But it's very powerful, and you can have students collaborating this way as well if you choose to do so. But it's a much better method for the sharing of documents and information. And also, you still have the ability to send files as attachments. So there are still going to be cases where you have to send a document to someone who doesn't have access to Google Drive or doesn't use Google Drive. So there's still that ability. So how we would do that is we would go to File, and I would go down here to Email as Attachment. And you can see here, I can attach this document as a web page, I can attach it as a PDF, or I can attach it as a Word document. I can pick one of those. I can type in Barb's address, and I'll send a copy to myself here. I'll send it off. Now if I go here, you can see here in my email, I now have a Word document that is the same file that we were editing just a little bit ago. So that's how your students, if your students have Chromebooks, but you still want to use Microsoft Word, as a teacher, they obviously don't have Microsoft Word, but they can still send you their documents as a Microsoft Word file. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's see, spreadsheets. Like I said, I use Google Drive for pretty much everything I do. I guess I can show you my technology budget that I've created to show the administration and show the board. But you can see here, these are all formulas that are tied into other sheets on this spreadsheet. And I can go in and make a change on one of these sheets and it will show up on here. It's a very powerful, it's powerful enough for what I do that it satisfies all the needs that I have. But the nice thing about it is that I can share it with anybody that I want to. We do our technology inventory I have on another spreadsheet. And so if we bring a laptop in from a student that has left the district, we can repurpose that, give it to another student, and we can change that on our spreadsheet. Well, Charlie has the ability to edit that spreadsheet. So if he's the one that's handing out that laptop, he can go into that spreadsheet, look up the serial number, and change what student has possession of that laptop. And it's all the same file. It's not something that I have to email to him and he makes the change and he sends it back to me. It's all done within the browser. Another awesome capability of Google Drive, and I keep going back and forth, Google Docs, Google Drive. It's called Drive. It was used to be Google Docs. But we've worked on some curriculum for Kingman Elementary. Is this okay to show a few of these, Adrian?
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't really know what all of it is. So yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. Well, there's a curriculum committee, and we started this at the end of last year, I believe. But they had done all this in Microsoft Word, and it was in tables, and so one of them would edit it, and then they'd email it to the other teacher, and they would edit it, and they had copies and copies of the same file, and it was confusing. There was no good way to display it, and what I did was I worked with them on getting those documents into Google Drive, and I can show you an example of what one looks like. But this is a curriculum map that all of the teachers on that curriculum committee have access to, so they can go in and make changes to this document, and it automatically updates. But you can see here, it's in a table format. It's, I believe it's unit by unit. And if I go in here and look, it looks like Max, Tammy, Susan, Nicole, the teachers that are on that curriculum committee have the ability to edit that document. And the nice thing about this is that it's published we can publish this to the web. And I talk about sharing documents. If I go here to File and I go to Publish to the Web, and it's already published, but if it's not published, there's a Start Publishing button that I can press. And then it gives me a document link right here that allows us to go in and put a link on a website. And actually, I'm going to navigate to that website so you can see what the finished product looks like. But as soon as those committee members go in and make a change to that document, it automatically publishes to the web. So they don't have to save it and then upload it to a website. It automatically is published to the internet. So if I go here to second grade and go to ELA, I can see the same units, and it's going to open up pretty much just like we saw on the Google Doc, except it's a web page. So the ability to share that information that easily is a very powerful tool that just requires a few clicks of a button. Most of the work is getting all of this created and inputted in. If you start from scratch using this format, it's really just a matter of the teachers creating the content. But it's a very useful tool. One other benefit of Google Drive is if someone makes a change, or if you lose some content, say there are multiple people editing a document, or if by yourself you accidentally delete some of the content, you can go up back and look at your revision history. So if I go to File and see Revision History, it keeps track of every edit that was made on this document all the way back to March 14th of last spring when I first created it. But you can see every change that I made. You can see a change that Jill Shippey made to this document on April 8th. You can see a change that Callie Stein made on the Linda Hageman as well. You can see Barb's change up here. So if I want to restore before Barb made her change, I just go back to the previous version and I can click restore. But this is a very valuable way to keep track of all the changes that were made. And also, if you have a group assignment for students that are supposed to be collaborating, you can go in and you can tell who contributed to that document. So if Barb and I are supposed to be working on this together, and you can see here, my name's here most of the time, and Barb just at the last minute decided to add something to it, you can give me an A and you might have to talk to Barb about her grade. But that's a nice feature. And I've had to use that before, go back and get an earlier version of a document. It's been very useful, especially, when I'm working with policies or board reports. I can go back and recover something that I previously edited. That is certainly not something that you can do with Microsoft Word. You can't keep track of the content of a document from the first moment that you created it. Any questions? Okay. This does have a presentation program, and I'll just go ahead. Let's see. I'll open up a new one here. Let's see. I don't want to create it there. I'm just going to create it in my drive so I can delete it. So I'm going to create a new presentation. So your kids, if they have Chromebooks, they can create presentations as well. And they can share these the same way that they can share a document or a spreadsheet. They can publish it to the web. It's all, it has all the same features. All right. We'll go Western here. But, it's the same, I guess it's the same process that you have in PowerPoint. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of the same features, but it has plenty of features to get the job done if you have students that wanted to give a presentation. You can add new slides. I actually use this with youth football. Let me see if I can find. I keep track because my boys have a lot of trouble remembering exactly what squad they're on, and so I created these printouts of them. I just put a picture of a football field in the background, and then I have their names on there. And so I printed this off, and actually I can go in and I can move these anywhere that they're supposed to be on the field. But this was my solution because, boy, that first game was a mess. And it did help some, but there's a few that are still catching on. But, these text boxes, and you can also create shapes and images. But, yeah, go ahead.
I just wonder why Nick and Austin are on a different field.
Nick and Austin. Well, let me look here. I have
Now you got more on the other field.
He's just not seeing it
I
all.
was giving you a hard time, Dennis.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. My gosh, you've been around those kids too long. That's all I get. I get to practice, and it's like 20 questions times 30 kids. It is nonstop. I'll tell you. My kids, they ask me questions, but it's nothing like having. Yeah. But anyway, I'm digressing. You all know what that's like. Now it's, I'm getting a dose of it for sure. But, the presentation software, I mean, I like it. It works pretty well for what I need. Plus, I can share this with the other coaches, and they can go in and make changes if they want to. I don't have to have a PowerPoint presentation and email it off to somebody else. Any questions? All right, what time do we have? I'm going through this fast here. Let me see what else I have here. I've really gone through quite a bit. Another thing that I really like about Google Drive is the ability to edit documents and find information on my mobile phone, on a tablet. And I can't tell you how many times I've pulled out my mobile phone and I've opened up a document just to get some information that I needed. I do that almost on a daily basis, and part of that is because I've taken the time to put all the information that I really need and really use in Google Drive. But having all that information at my fingertips is just such a powerful tool for me. It's very important to enabling me to do my job well. I know with iPads, there is a Google Drive app that is installed on the student iPads at Kingman Middle School. And it does work for creating basic documents, text-based documents, and I believe spreadsheets. You can't go in and create complex documents with tables, unfortunately, but if you're going to have a student type a document, just a basic report, I really would recommend that you have them use Google Drive because it will back that file up off-site. So if they forget their passcode on their iPad and they try it 10 times and it bricks and resets their iPad, they don't lose all their documents, as has happened to several kids this year. saving it on Google Drive is very nice because, like this laptop here that I'm using, if my laptop were to die tomorrow, I would not lose any of my files. All I would have to do is grab another laptop, log into Google Drive, and I'd have access to all the files that I need. Is there anybody out there that's using Google Drive much? No? Well, I would encourage that you start looking at it because the kids before long will be using Google Drive almost exclusively. And I think the more familiar you are with Google Drive, the easier it will be for you to relate to your students about what they need to do when they are using Google Drive.
As I tell my students when the essay on it, I have a little bit of a problem with formatting. One of the boys was typing, he had some words in real big font. We had a really hard time with that. Is there any easy way to figure out things on the formatting?
Okay.
I knew but I'm not really sure how to do it.
Can you repeat that, please?
Okay. One of my boys was typing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he changed fonts somehow or how he did it, but he had some words that were in huge font, others that were not. And I tried selecting all and put all the same font and put it down.
Okay.
I think I highlighted just the ones that were really big, and I can't even remember now how I figured it out, but we did get fixed.
Okay. Just go ahead and send me a note, send me a ticket or an email, and I'll come and help you out. Are they using Google Chrome as a browser?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. I know when I have fonts of different sizes, generally if I highlight everything and change the font and change the font size, it will go ahead and do that. But I'd be more than happy to come and help you out, see what's going on.
Okay. Thank you.
And I would also ask if there are any 4th or 5th grade teachers that want to try out a Chromebook or two and see how it works with Lead 21 and other applications that you're using right now. I would be more than happy to bring you some. I guess my feeling is that there are some features in Lead 21 that will work on the Chromebook. There are some games that do not, and I guess it's just we're gonna need to look at it and decide if it works well enough to use them, or if we really have to have those games, or if we can find an alternative for some of those games. But if you're interested, just please let me know. I do have Tammy Gable at Norwich that's been testing them out for a couple weeks in her class. Any other questions? Let me see here. Well, if there are no other questions, I don't want to keep you all here. I know you probably have other things to do. But if you do have any problems, or you want me to help you out or come in and show your class some things, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to.
Anything else?
Thanks, Dennis.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I did have a question, but it has nothing to do with this.
Okay.